The Wichita Police and Fire Departments are pretty excited about a new joint public safety campaign that we're going to initiate today. It's an opportunity for the Wichita Police Department and the Wichita Fire Department to speak to public safety issues with one voice, understanding that we both have concerns about different kinds of public safety issues as they occur over the course of the year. So each month we're going to highlight one of those public safety kinds of issues where the police and the fire department work together to try to come up with solutions and offer suggestions for how folks can stay safe and keep their families safe. The goal is for us to work together to reach out to more people, to use social media and of course traditional media to get the message out and ultimately save lives and save property loss. So with that being said, I'm going to invite Captain Nolte up to kick off our first joint public safety campaign concerning false fire alarms and false burglar alarms.
Thanks, Brad. Well, I'm Captain Doug Nolte, and it is a pleasure to be here. One of the things that we are on the theme of alarms and changing smoke alarm batteries is also talking about false alarm prevention. Both the Wichita Police and Fire Department run into false alarms, whether it's a fire alarm or a general burglar alarm, and we want to educate citizens on how to minimize the possibility that you'll run into having an alarm. One of our concerns is that when an alarm is false, that dedicates police and fire resources that cost time and money. And ultimately, when approximately, figure in a year, approximately 95% of alarms are false, you can imagine that that is a drain on resources. So some of the things that we are encouraging homeowners to look at is their alarm systems. User error, installation or service errors, and equipment failure are the most common types of causes for false alarms. And let me talk to you a little bit about other major causes of false security alarms. Those include unlocked doors and windows. Leaving the house and making sure that door is closed is important. Children, neighbors, or visitors that you have in the home that might be coming or going for different reasons, not knowing the code or properly being briefed on how the system works. Pet sitters, cleaning crews, or repairmen that are there that also don't have proper access. Pets or other wildlife that might be in proximity to the home. A lot of times pets will set off sensors that are in the home and or proximity to the alarms. And then there's equipment malfunction, so we highly suggest that you get your alarm serviced. I'm going to let Brad kind of talk a little bit about what causes false fire alarms.
We share many of the same kinds of concerns that the police department has with false alarms. Obviously, if somebody has a false alarm, we're dedicating resources to an alarm that's not legitimate, and the propensity for something else to be happening where our services are really needed is really bothersome to us. Fire alarms, just like burglar alarms, have to be maintained, and there's obviously issues that need to be addressed when they don't work properly. A lot of the times, false fire alarms are caused by overcooked food, burnt popcorn, steam coming from showers, as well as dust from construction or from uncleanliness, incorrect or poorly designed systems, incorrect or poorly installed systems, equipment malfunctions, and of course tampering with the fire alarm system itself. Every month, the Wichita Fire Department gets about 200 fire alarm calls, and about half of those, 50% of those, are typically false alarms. Those are 100 alarms that our folks could be responding to in a different way. And so we're trying to work with folks who are on our false alarm list to get their systems installed properly or to make changes to their smoke alarm system, their fire detection system, to reduce the number of false alarms that we experience every month. I stand for questions.
Absolutely.
Are there any questions?
Can you remind us of what the penalties are for false alarms?
Well, there's a sliding scale, if you will, for false alarms. Typically, the first false alarm is not going to be billed to you as long as your alarm is registered and you've taken the proper educational classes or alarm school if the alarm is proven to be false. But there's a graduated scale. Stan, I apologize, I didn't bring the fines up here with me, but I can get those for you. Another thing that I would also mention is that you can find complete information on our website at wichita.gov under the police department. Look under false alarms, and it will have that scale of information as well. And just because I'm sure you guys would like to have these numbers, from October 1st of 2014, when the new ordinance was put into place, we had 7,643 alarms. Those are total alarms, general alarms, as well as fire alarms. The total number of valid alarms was 339. So the number of false alarms was 7,304. And that equates to just over 95% of the alarms were false. The good news is that those numbers are down from the year before, when in that same time period we had 8,116 false alarms. So there's, we feel a positive trend starting to see these numbers lowered. That means our resources aren't tied up on false alarms. I think both the fire department and the police department are optimistic that those numbers are going to continue to go down.